So the next horse was the black horse, and this is a really interesting one because black represents the intellect or the carnal mind, the thing that you need to raise up out of in meditation to start communing with God, the place where researchers are coming from that say that the world is going to end. So the black horse comes with balances, and balances represent decision making, which shows you it's the representation of the intellect, of the carnal mind. Hey everyone, so I'm not in the move today. I'm sitting still to make a video, which is rare. So I never got a chance to go for a run. That's why I'm doing it this way. But I've had something on my mind for well, I told someone I would do this. I told several people I would make a video on this, and that's what I was planning to do today on my run. But I've done it now. Now everyone's, well, no one's calling on me, so I've got some spare time. So I'm worried my dogs are going to start piling in, so if they do, I'm sorry. I want to talk about the whole idea and concept of end times, doomsday, and specifically that stems from the book of Revelation in the Bible. So it's very easy for me to understand why people would read the book of Revelation and draw the wrong conclusions and think it's, you know, a terrible story and a bad omen, you know, that we've been told by the word of God that the world's going to end. But as I keep saying, it's because it's an allegory. Revelation is a very in-depth allegory, including numerology, symbology, and speaking of the spiritual systems of the body. And what I will say now is, if you ever come across any researchers or anybody in life who's speaking, even if they're a pastor or a preacher, or someone speaking, you know, maybe it's documentaries, I see a lot of this as well, where they say that the end of the world is coming because of Revelation. If they ever say that, I tell you now, don't listen to them. Switch off from them, because they're wrong. They don't know how to read the Bible, and they are dangerous people. They are dangerous people because they are perpetuating fear. And if you are one of those people, if you are someone who's speaking a message in somewhere, whether it be with the church, and you're spreading this message of fear that the world's going to end, then you need to stop, because you're not spreading the word of God, you're not spreading the love of God, you're spreading fear, and you're doing it because you've misunderstood something. For those of you who have seen my other videos, they're doing so from the carnal mind. They're doing so from the level of consciousness in esoterics that we call Earth, or in science you would call the cycles that are beta. So those people, so they are dangerous to humanity, and they shouldn't be spreading their fears, because the Bible is not about fear. It's not about doom and gloom and destruction. It's about conveying beautiful truths about the path and journey that you can go on, spiritually and psychologically. So let's start with the concept. I think the best thing to start with is apocalypse. Everyone knows about the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. So the apocalypse doesn't appear in the Bible. That word's not in the Bible, and the reason it's gotten crossed over is because it's the ancient Greek word for revelation, and the ancient Greeks, as we know, were huge on mythology, and the ancient Greeks played a huge role in how the Bible is presented today. So the word, as I say, apocalypse, doesn't mean what we've now given it the meaning of in modern day times. Back then it meant revelation, to reveal something. Something will be revealed to you. So the four horsemen of the apocalypse. Now, I've said before, horse in the Bible doesn't mean horse. Horse in the Bible is symbology for the higher lower mind and understanding. That's what it means. And there's a different language. You need to learn that language before you can understand esoterics. But you can. There are lots of books on biblical allegorism. That was my dog kicking dust at me. And the allegories of the Bible and esoterics. And you'll find plenty. Biblical allegorism is an easy way to start if you're looking for how to crack the Bible language, which anyone can do. Anybody can do. So, let me give you an example of what I mean by that. So if you're going to read biblical allegorism, you should read the King James Bible. I don't know any others that are original text. All the rest have been doctored. So what I mean by that is that in England we have a saying where we say, let the cat out the bag. So if you were to let the cat out the bag in England, it means you're going to divulge a secret. You're going to give some information that's hidden, perhaps. So I'm going to let the cat out the bag. I'm going to tell a secret, or I'm going to tell someone this, or I'm going to divulge something. What's happened is, imagine in hundreds of years' time someone saw that written and they translated it to say, the man reached into a sack, took a small furry animal with claws out, put it on the ground and let it go free. No one's going to know that I'm going to let the cat out the bag. But this is what's happened with Bible scholars, and whether that was intentional or not, in some instances it possibly was. In many instances it was just a mistake. They were trying to do what they saw as good, but they messed up. So you can't shift the language and then stick with the esoterics. You have to read the original language that was in there, and that's a good example. So someone comes along, you let the cat out the bag, has been dismantled to taking an animal out of a sack and letting it go free. You can see that it loses its meaning. No one will know that I'm about to divulge a secret. So, Revelation, four horsemen of the apocalypse. And this is important to me because so many people are scared of the end of the world, and it's ridiculous, because it's in these scriptures, and it's just not. I hope the wind's okay for this. So the four horsemen, the horse in Bible, as I say, does not mean horse. It's not literal. It means understanding, higher, lower mind. And the four horsemen all have colours, and colours mean something in the Bible too. So we have the white horse. I'm defending the camera from dogs. You don't go, please, I'm making a video. You have the white horse, and the white horse is representation of spirit. High security team. Representation of spirit and of purity. That's what white is. Understandable, I think, when you associate white, you do associate it with those things. So the next horse was the red horse. And the red horse represents your emotional nature. Red always represents emotion in the Bible. That's why Moses crossed the Red Sea. He crossed his emotions in meditation to get to the other side whilst being chased by his ego, his thoughts. Anyway, the red horse is coming to you as your emotions. So it's your emotions pushing against you in meditation, something you need to overcome. And it mentions that it kills us all. So that is because, dog again, the emotional nature does that, because we get hyped up on emotions and we cut off from reality when we do, because we get too attached inside them, or we react badly with emotion. So the next horse was the black horse, and this is a really interesting one because black represents the intellect or the carnal mind, the thing that you need to raise up out of in meditation to start communing with God, the place where researchers are coming from that say that the world is going to end. So the black horse comes with balances, and balances represent decision making, which shows you it's the representation of the intellect, of the carnal mind. So the final horse is the pale horse, and pale represents the physical nature, and it brings with it death. And that's because in esoterics, the only thing that can die is the first part of this. The only thing that can die is the physical aspect of yourself within the paradigm of this reality, because, as I've said before, you can't peer inside a brain and find someone's thoughts or emotions or intellect. You can't peer in and see those things. So physicality is the only thing that can die. But at the same time, it's the only thing that can bring death to your practice in raising yourself through those levels of consciousness and raising yourself up to the level of purity where you commune with God by getting your brain to reduce its cycles to theta, as you would say in science. So the reason that is because, you might say, I'm going to go, instead I'm going to I'm going to watch TV. So you're not meditating. This is your physical nature. I'm going to eat this nice food instead. You're not communing with God. You're busy eating nice food. It's your physical nature can bring death to your spirit, to your meditation as well. So that's what the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse are. They are not something that's going to bring fire and brimstone to the planet. Now another part of this is that it says in Revelation that fire will come from the heavens, but it says it will save us. So people say the chosen ones will be saving, and fire from the heavens will come down and kill us. And it sounds like a daunting thing, I agree, but that's not what it means. As I said, you have earth, water, air, fire, and the new mind. And fire is a level of consciousness, which is arguably the brain cycles of theta. So when fire comes from the heavens to save you, it's because the heavens is the higher realms of consciousness where you can commune with God. So fire comes and it saves you. This is why John told you, I can baptize you with water, but he who comes after me will baptize you with fire. So what he was saying is, someone like myself can lead you to water, can show you how to meditate, but only Christ himself can baptize you with fire, because it's in the Christ mind and the level of consciousness you call Christ that can save you with that level of consciousness you call fire. The Christ mind, which is that elevated level of consciousness, and that is he who comes after John the Baptist, he who brings you the message to bring you to water of meditation. Once his job is done, he's took you to that level. It's then up to you to reach to Christ, and it's Christ that can baptize you with fire, because it's the mind of Christ, as they say in esoterics, in Christian Gnosticism, that can save you. So that is what fire coming from the heavens is. And then there's other things too. There's the red dragon, red. There's the red dragon, red. As I said, red means the emotional nature. And the red dragon comes and it wants to devour the child as it's born. But there's something you need to see about the red dragon. It has 7 heads. It's about meditation. It's about the 7 chakras. And the red dragon is again the emotional nature coming to consume the new child, which is born in meditation and is of pure consciousness. And the dragon is cast down by the angels in meditation, by raising yourself up and touching those better angles of light, as you would say in physics, the better angles of light that carry the photons of the angels. You raise yourself up, and the angels from that higher level of consciousness will cast down the emotions, and it casts it down to earth. The red dragon is cast down to earth, the lower levels of consciousness, the lowest level, the carnal mind. The part that causes everybody trouble. As I say, the part that these minds are telling people on the planet that the world's coming to an end, because they haven't raised up out of the carnal mind yet to explain them, to understand the allegories of the scripture. So the 7 heads, as I say, the chakras, you conquer the meditation, you raise yourself up and you cast it down. And this is what Satan is. Satan is the idea of the energy, the vibrational energy. So there are high and low vibrational energies. And I do believe that they physically duel it out within our reality, for sure. But they can only have an effect on us as human beings and our actions if we are in the carnal mind, because we're a low drawn out brain frequency, 26 cycles per second beta. When you're running like this in your higher frequencies, that's when you're in the heavens. That's when your mind is quiet and you're vibrating at your mind is vibrating at a higher frequency, so you can commune with the higher levels of consciousness or with the Christ mind. And so that is when Satan is cast down to earth. You cast him down, you lock him away. And the other thing in Revelation is the bottomless pit. So everyone thinks the bottomless pit, it's hell, and you cast Satan down into the bottomless pit. So let me explain that part of it as well. And again, you need to know numerology to do this, as well as biblical allegorism. So to cast down into the bottomless pit is a representation of human. Sorry, one of my dogs is coming again. Please let me make my video. Human desire. That is the bottomless pit, because it's never ending. Brianna, it's never ending. The bottomless pit of human desire. And when I was living in the West, and predominantly in my in my carnal mind, please stop. Oh God. How nice. Thank you. Just what I wanted. Yes, thank you. Oh God. When I was living in the West, if you were to, oh my God, look inside my wardrobe, when I was living predominantly in the carnal mind, if not all of the time, you would have saw evidence of my bottomless pit of desire, because I used to buy clothes that I never needed. They had no utility, but I desired them. That is an example of the physical expression of the bottomless pit of human desire. It can take many forms, as we all know. So God says he casts Satan down into the bottomless pit for 1,000 years. So the 1 is numerological and the 0s are numerological. So the 1 represents your oneness with God, and the 0s represent that when you're in that place of oneness and stillness, it's infinity, as they would say in Buddhism, nirvana, the infinite stillness that is communing with God in meditation. That's what that is. And it's evident in the Bible. We know that God said 1,000 years is but to a day to him in the Bible. So why would he cast down Satan for 1,000 years if it was literal? I'll put you in the bottomless pit for a year, but you can come back out and cause bother for a day. Ultimately, I'll put you in there for a day, but please, I'll put you down in the bottomless pit for one day. Sorry, I'm sorry, my dog again. And I will put you down in the bottomless pit for one day, but I will let you back out to cause your mayhem. Why would he do that? It's not literal, obviously. So, and the reason he said years, there's more to that as well, is you conquer the 12. So a year is the division of 12 in esoterics, and still today 12 months in a year. And conquering the 12 is gaining dominion over the 6 cerebrum, which is on either side, which equals 12. And this is what that represents. So you cast down the lower aspects of your nature into the bottomless pit. You cast them away and they're gone. The bottomless pit of human desires, and Satan, the carnal mind, the lower nature of you, goes away with that. But only when you raise yourself into the stillness with God in meditation, and you hit that place in Buddhism they call nirvana, and you become one and still with God in the infinite. As I once heard a yogi say, in the zero, not zero, the infinite that is the very centre of all things. The infinity that is God. So, that is, in a nutshell, that's Revelation. That's the big things that make people think it's going to be the end of the world. And it's not the end of the world. Revelation is about the end of suffering inside your body. Revelation is about the end times in the Bible, whenever referenced, is either about the end of suffering or the end of an astrological time. We are in the new times of Aquarius, but we've just been in the end times of the prior age. And that is the other aspect of the end times. So you have the end times, astrologically speaking, and then you have the end times of suffering by creating the new mind inside yourself, the Christ mind, by raising yourself up in meditation to the levels of consciousness, from earth to water to air to fire to the new mind. And it's when you do that that you have complete dominion over your thought body. So your thoughts, once you sit long enough in the higher mind, in the higher levels of consciousness, then your lower carnal nature doesn't have as much dominion over you, and it never will. And this is why I share what I share. regarding the biblical allegories, because it is in learning how to raise yourself up from your carnal mind through the levels of consciousness, from air to water to air to fire to the new mind, from beta to alpha to theta. It's in doing that you can become liberated from your carnal mind. And being liberated from your carnal mind means you can't be controlled by the psychology on the planet, which manipulates the carnal mind. And you can't be controlled also by the substances that keep you dwelling inside that carnal mind, and the technology that keeps you dwelling inside that carnal mind. When you escape your physical nature, you are gifted with so much. As Christ said, you can meet Christ in the air. And this helps us to step away also from institutions like the Vatican. Now, I'm not saying the Vatican is all pure evil, but when everyone who's following it is calling out to the sky for someone to come and save them, to gallop through on a white horse, when what Christ left in the teachings was that he will come with pure understanding in the air. That's what the horse is. When you raise yourself up in meditation and you meet Christ in the air, and he brings you pure understanding. And as John the Baptist said, he can baptize you with water, but he who comes after the baptism of water is much greater than he. So Christ will baptize you with fire. So someone like myself can show you how to meditate. You can go into meditation, and you can raise yourself up to water. But that's as far as anyone can take you, because after that, you're reaching up to the Christ mind, where he will come and baptize you with fire. And when he does, you will be liberated of so much trouble in your life you won't believe. And you will be free. You will be free. Have many things that burden you. Dietary problems, health problems, psychological problems. Because once you get a break from yourself, then you can heal it. And the Christ mind heals. That's why Christ is a healer. That level of consciousness, or that brain cycle which is theta, the level of consciousness which is air and fire. It's so healing to the human body. And this is why I share the Bible musings. Hopefully more people will find in them what I found, and will liberate themselves from the carnal mind and from the fears and from these ridiculous people that are telling you the world is going to end. I'll say that one last time. If someone ever says to you that the world is going to end because of revelation in the Bible, whether it's a researcher, a TV presenter, a pastor, a preacher, a bishop, or the Pope, ignore them, because they don't know what they're talking about and they've misread the Bible. Revelation is not about the end of the world, it's about the end of suffering, and it's a beautiful story when you know how to read it. So, anyway, I'm going to get off because it's getting late. I'm sat on the floor in the dirt, and after my incident with the snake the other day, but now I'm a little bit so, okay guys, be savvy, be sensible, be mature. The world's not coming to an end. Horses don't gallop through clouds to end the world. When you see stuff like that in scriptures like the Bible, or even if you see stuff like that in scriptures like the Quran, or you see stuff like that in scriptures like the Bhagavad Gita or the Dharmas, they are allegories to convey deeper internal spiritual and psychological truth. And they are truths that we all need, and they are truths that should be shared and should be heard far and wide. Because in hearing them, we can all come to Christ, we can all come to Buddha, we can all come to Krishna, we can all come to Allah. It's not just Christ that said that God is within you. Even Muhammad said, to know yourself is to know Allah. So it's in every scripture, it's the same thing. Go within, find the Christ within you, and set yourself free from the carnal mind. And in doing so, set yourself free from the imprisonment that comes with the carnal mind, because that is the thing that's understood. That's the thing that psychology knows how to manipulate, and that's the thing that marketing and all this other stuff on the planet currently does manipulate. So liberate yourself from it. Okay, I'm going to get off. I guess I'll see you all in the next video. Bye guys.